What's up, guys? Back with another educational video. This week we are talking about Anecdote. One of the things I hear a lot from people online with regards to nutrition is, well, such and such said that this did this for them, or I did this and this happened for me. This especially comes up because of Paul Saladino's appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast. Paul is an advocate for the carnivore diet, and many of the claims of the carnivore folks are supported with anecdote. Basically people saying, well, this person did the carnivore diet and saw this, or look at the people on Twitter who say this. I don't want to completely dismiss anecdote, okay? Your experience is valid for you, but there's a few different issues with anecdote. Let's take, for example, the carnivore diet. Many people will claim that they went on a carnivore diet, their skin cleared up, their digestion felt better, it helped their autoimmune issues, all these different things. The problem with that is I can find people who are on a vegan diet who say the same thing. So what makes their anecdote better or worse? Because you can't evaluate the quality of evidence with anecdote because it's literally just somebody saying something. The second problem is we are all subject to the power of placebo. Now, when I talk about placebo, people think that what I'm saying is that if they make a claim of something that they experienced, that I'm saying they're lying. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, placebo is so powerful, it is on the level of drugs, quite literally, when tested. Let me give you an example. So there was a study a while back where they looked at different levels. They looked at a lot of things, but let's just take one hormone they assessed. They assessed the genetics of various people, and they found different groups of people who had either high ghrelin or low ghrelin naturally. Now, ghrelin is a hormone that makes you hungry. So what they did was they found out who were low ghrelin and high ghrelin naturally, and then they randomly told them if they were low or high, meaning that you had four subgroups basically. You had low ghrelin, told they were low ghrelin. You had low ghrelin, told they were high ghrelin. You had high ghrelin, told they were low ghrelin, and you had high ghrelin, told they were high ghrelin. What was interesting was that it didn't matter what their genetics were. What matters is what the researchers told them. And not only did they experience a change in hunger, their actual assessed levels of hormones changed. So the people that were told they had high ghrelin, if they were low, they actually saw their ghrelin levels increase. We used to think about the brain as being disconnected from the body. Like basically, the brain receives signals from the body and the brain could send signals to the body. But what happened in the brain didn't, other than hormones and stuff, didn't really dictate what went on in the body. Now we know that all this stuff is interconnected. Thoughts can become reality. Now you can't placebo yourself into thinking that you can fly or something like that, like obviously. But you can placebo yourself literally into feeling better. Another example of that is a study where they looked at endurance exercise and caffeine. And they had four groups. They had people who were not given caffeine, told they weren't given caffeine. People who were given caffeine, told they didn't get it. People who didn't get it, told they got it. And people who got it and told they got it. So again, four subgroups. Now we know caffeine from randomized control trials absolutely increases exercise performance. We've seen it time and time again. What, again, the researchers found in this experiment is it didn't matter who got caffeine. What matters is what they told them. The misinterpretation of the study would be to say, well, caffeine doesn't do anything. No. It just means that your feelings and your thoughts about what caffeine does is more powerful than what it actually does. So if we go back to claims like by carnivore people or keto people or vegan people that such and such diet improved their autoimmune issues or their skin condition or any of these various claims, what happens is people make these claims. Whether they experienced it or not, maybe. Especially because you have to understand, like I don't know if you guys know this, but people lie to make money. I don't know if you're aware of this. So a lot of people who want to sell their books or their programs or whatever will make various claims that are not founded in data to get people to try their diets or their programs or whatever it is. Now, if those people come into that program believing it works, having a positive feeling about that, then it is very likely to work. Another study, that's an example of this, is they took men and had them resistance train, told them that they were putting them on steroids, and they didn't actually put them on steroids, and these guys very quickly increased their strength by like 10 to 20%, like right away. Again, that's because they believed that they were on steroids. Your beliefs and the power of suggestion cannot be discounted. So once again, when I say that you may have experienced the placebo effect, or somebody may have experienced the placebo effect, I'm not saying that you're lying about your experience. It is very well that you could have not only just experienced that feeling that you feel better on a specific diet, but you may have actually physiologically improved on that diet. But that may not be because that particular diet is superior to another diet. It's just because you had a positive impression of that diet, you believed it would work better, and so it did work better. So we had Alan Levinovitz on our podcast, and I don't want to go through kind of everything of his background, but he's actually a professor of religious studies, but he actually ended up doing quite a bit of research in nutrition and whether or not things that were natural were better for you than things that were not. Like, he went into this whole kind of breakdown of researching the belief about things that are natural. Anyway, basically what he said was now he doesn't even try to correct people if they make incorrect claims about nutrition. He said, if they feel better, who am I to tell them differently? I understand that, and I think what I want you guys to take away from this is your anecdote is extremely valid for you. Please do not use your anecdote or your experience to make broad recommendations for other people. While your anecdote is valuable for you, it is not valuable on a population basis. So if we're making broad recommendations for a population, we have to look at research, empirical research that isn't subject to so much bias. Now, I'm not saying that research doesn't have any bias. Of course it does. Everything has bias. However, anecdote is extremely biased. I mean, you can find people who swear up and down that coffee enemas cured their cancer. You can find people who swear that tanning their butthole legit cures like various illnesses that they had. Anecdote is the lowest form of evidence we have. Your anecdote is valuable for you. Do not assume it's valuable for anybody else. Hopefully that helped clear up some misconceptions about anecdote and how I feel about anecdote. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and make sure you check out some of the links in the description where you can check out some of our merchandise, our educational products, as well as our nutrition coaching app. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you next time.